So the technical name for website is web application. So to develop a web application, we use three-tier architecture, right? So we use three-tier architecture or model to develop a web application. Now, what is this three-tier architecture or model? So in three-tier architecture model, we have three layers. The first layer is client. The second layer is server, and the third layer is database. Right, all of you? Right. So it is something like this: client, next server, next it is database. Right. So to develop a website, the technical name is web application. We use three-tier architecture or three-tier model. And in this three-tier model, we have three layers: one, client; two, server; three, database. Now I'll show you diagrammatically what exactly this means. So I'll show you the diagrammatic representation of what is this client, what is this server, and what is this database. Right, all of you? Fine. So let us open the paint for us. Okay. Right. So let us take three-tier architecture, and I'm going to show you this diagrammatically. So in three-tier architecture, we have three things. One, it is client. Two, it is server. And three, it is going to be database. Right. So first one is the client. Right. And the second one is going to be the server. Right. And the third one is going to be the database. DB. So DB stands for database. So client. So basically, client will be using the browser to access the web application or website. Right. So here the client will be using the browser software to access the website on internet. Now what is client actually? Client is a machine, and to run this machine we require a software, and that software which the client uses to access a website or a web application is known as browser. So client will be using the browser to access the website. Right. So the commonly used browsers are, we have Google Chrome, right? We have Mozilla Firefox, right? We also have something like Safari, etc. So these are the different web browsers using which the client will be communicating with the server. Right. So client will be making a request to the server. So the request has to go to the server. So client has to make a request to the server for accessing the website. Right. So technically we call this as request. www.yahoo.com, www.gmail.com, www.facebook.com. Now on server, okay, so here server is also a machine. Now to run this machine, we require a software, okay, and that software we call it as technically, technically we are going to call that as server software, okay, and on this server software, okay, we have something like many server softwares like we have Apache Tomcat server, we have Internet Information Server, we have XAMPP server, we have Python Django server. Right. So these are some server side technologies. Now these server side technologies performs three activities. First one, accept the client request. Second one, process the client request. And third one, give the reply to the request. So these are the three main activities of server. And these servers are Apache Tomcat server, Internet Information Server, XAMPP server, Python server. And whatever the reply which is given by the clients, so this reply will come back to the client, and that we call it as response. So that we call it as response. So response will be coming to the client. Right. So on the server, we use these different servers, Apache Tomcat server. So if you are using Apache Tomcat server, okay, the commonly used technology on the server side is Java. So Java will be used for Apache Tomcat server. Next, if you are using IIS server, so for IIS server, the commonly used technology is .NET. Coming to the XAMPP server, if you are using XAMPP server, the commonly used technology is PHP. Right. And finally, coming to the Python, the commonly used technology is Python itself for Python server. Right. So if you are using Java technology, we are going to have Apache Tomcat server. If you are using .NET technology, we are going to have Internet Information Server. If you are using PHP technology, we are going to have a XAMPP server. And if you are using Python technology, then we are going to use a Python server. Now these server side technologies will be getting some dynamic information from the database. So generally, whenever the data changes in your website from time to time, location to location, user to user, so that is called as dynamic. So dynamic means we have three things here. One, data changes in website with respect to time, with respect to location, with respect to user. Right, so this is called as dynamic website. Right, so the data in the website changes with respect to time, with respect to location, with respect to user. Right, so I'll give you some examples for this. For example, if the data changes with respect to time, best example is it is cricket score updates. So cricket score updates changes from time to time. So this is a dynamic website. And the next example is location to location. News. So news updates changes from location to location. So whenever you are using Google News, in Google News, Indian users will be getting India news, UK users will be getting UK news, and American people will be getting US related news. Is it okay, all of you? Right. And next, coming to user, the best example is Facebook or Gmail. Right. So Facebook or Gmail are the best examples where data changes with respect to users. So if I log in with my ID, I'll be getting my Facebook updates, my Gmail inbox. If you are using your login, you'll be getting your Facebook updates and your Gmail inbox. So this is what is dynamic website. So in this dynamic website data, so this data is very important for us. Okay, data. So this data is very important for us. So if this data changes with respect to time, with respect to location, with respect to user, it is called as dynamic website. And nowadays we have dynamic websites almost all in the internet. Okay, 95 to almost all 90 to 90% of the websites are dynamic websites only. This is the ratio, 90 to 95% of the websites are dynamic websites. So here data changes with respect to time, with respect to location, and with respect to users. Right. So let's get back to client server DB. So client will be using the browser, making a request to the server. Server will accept the request, process the request, and generate the reply. Now this reply will come back to the user as the response. Now in server, if you want any dynamic information, so that dynamic information we have to get it through database. So server side technologies will communicate with database and gets the updated information or dynamic information from time to time. And the commonly used database technologies are here. So we have commonly used database technologies. Examples, we have Oracle database, we have MySQL database, we have SQL server database, we have something like DB2 database, etc. So these are database technologies. So right, all of you. So here client server DB. So client is called as tier 1 here. So client is called as tier 1. So tier 1 is known as presentation layer. Next. Server is known as tier 2. So tier 2 is known as middleware, or it is also known as business logic layer. And tier 3 is known as data storage layer. Right. So tier 1 is known as presentation layer. Okay. So tier 2 is known as middleware layer or business logic layer, and tier 3 is known as data storage layer. So where we store the data of our web application or website permanently, like user data, Facebook data, email data, or any information about the users or clients of your web application will be stored permanently in the data storage layer. So this is a three-tier architecture using which we develop the web applications or website. And these websites will be running on internet. Right. So now server. So on server, we use these server-side technologies. One, Java. Two, .NET. Three, PHP. Four, Python. So if you are using Java technologies, we go for Tomcat server. If you are using .NET technology, we'll be going for Internet Information Server, PHP, XAMPP, and Python Django server. Right. So the information which comes from server to client as response. So server to client as response should be displayed in the browser. Right. So for displaying information on the browser, we use UI technologies. So what we use? It is UI technologies. So these are UI technologies which are used on the server. One, HTML. Two, CSS. Three, JavaScript. Four, Angular.js. Right. So these are the technologies which are used on the client to display information or data in a web page. One, HTML. Two, CSS. Three, JavaScript. Four, Angular.js. Right. So this comes into picture. What is Angular.js? Okay. So technically, coming to Angular.js, what exactly is Angular.js? So Angular.js definition is something like this. It is a client-side JavaScript framework for developing dynamic web applications. Right, all of you. Fine. So what is Angular.js? So Angular.js is a client-side JavaScript framework for developing dynamic web applications. Right. So basically, we have many UI technologies. HTML. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And what is the main use of HTML? So HTML is the basic language for developing a web page. So what is HTML? So HTML is a basic language for developing a website. So to develop a website, we require compulsory HTML. HTML is the building block. So HTML is the building block of developing any website on internet. So using HTML tags only, we develop a web page. So that is what is HTML. So HTML mainly concentrates how to display the data on web page. So HTML displays the data on web page. Next, coming to CSS. So what is CSS? So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. So what does CSS stands for? Cascading Style Sheets. Now these cascading style sheets are used to make your HTML data more stylish, more colorful, or interactive. So to make your HTML data more stylish, more colorful, and more interactive, we use CSS in HTML. Right. And finally, coming to JavaScript. So what is this JavaScript and what is the use of this JavaScript in our HTML web page? So this is a main concern for us. Right. So basically, HTML mainly concentrates how to represent the data or how to display the data. Next, CSS mainly concentrates how to make your data stylish, colorful, and interactive. So it means that HTML concentrates only on how to display the data. CSS concentrates how to make your HTML data stylish, colorful, and interactive. So these two technologies does not have programming capabilities. For example, if you want to make A plus B on a web page or something like 10 plus 20 on a web page, this is not possible by HTML or CSS. So to perform 10 plus 20 on a web page, this is not possible by HTML and it is not possible by CSS. So HTML and CSS does not have programming capability. So we have to depend on JavaScript for programming in web page or HTML. Right, so this is what is JavaScript. Okay, so right, all of you, what is JavaScript? So JavaScript is nothing but programming capability in web page. So programming capability means we can use all the programming kind of activity in a web page, like variables, arrays, functions, operators, loops, control structures, objects, everything. So whatever you do in C, C++, Java and .NET programming, that kind of activity we can do it in JavaScript. So this is what is HTML, CSS and JavaScript, three main technologies. Right. So now coming to AngularJS. Now coming to AngularJS, it is also a JavaScript framework. Now this JavaScript framework is built based on JavaScript only. So this is built based on JavaScript coding only. Now using this AngularJS, we can develop dynamic web applications or dynamic websites. Okay, so what is the advantage of using AngularJS when compared to JavaScript? So in market we have many JavaScripts, like we have jQuery, we have React.js, we have Vue.js, we have Bootstrap.js. Then why we have to use AngularJS? Okay, so one thing is that using AngularJS we can develop JavaScript simple and fast. So we can develop dynamic web applications very simple and fast. And the second thing is that we can develop websites in less number of coding. In less number of coding, right? Right. So I'll also get back to you this whether this is JavaScript or TypeScript in the last. Okay. Right. So in the less number of coding lines, we can develop a dynamic website, and it is easy for coding also. So this is one of the main advantage. Right. Is it audible, all of you? Amit? Yes, you can ping me here if it's audible. Right. Right. So I'll answer all your queries at the last. Okay. I'm just going to conclude this in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and after that we can have one-on-one questionnaire. You can ask me the questions and I'll give you the reply. Right. So let's get back to the subject. So we can develop a website simple and fast, less number of coding lines, and easy for coding. right? So these are the three main advantages using which we can develop a website by AngularJS. So AngularJS, we have a library. It's a very small library, Angular.js. It is a JavaScript library and it is purely developed in JavaScript only. So using this AngularJS, we can do many things. For example, the main advantage of AngularJS is single page application, right? So the single page application, the best example for single page application is Gmail. So in Gmail, when you log into the Gmail, you'll be getting only one page. In that page only, you'll be having all the options. We can do everything in a single page application. Right, so this is the main advantage of using AngularJS for single page application development, and this single page application is done very simple and very easy. Less number of coding lines, simple, fast, easy. So that is the main flexibility. And like this, we also have many other features of AngularJS. I'm going to discuss that in the coming sessions. Is it okay, all of you? Right. So this is what is about introduction to AngularJS. So introduction to AngularJS is truly based on dynamic web application development using client server DB. Okay, so on the client side, we are going to use UI technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and along with that, we are also going to use AngularJS. We are going to use AngularJS. So this is what is AngularJS, and this is a JavaScript framework, right? So this is what is introduction to AngularJS for developing dynamic web application. So right, all of you. Okay, I'll just unmute all of you. Okay, if you have any queries, you can type the queries or you can ask me one on one. So I'll just get back to you, all of you, one on one. You can just ask me your queries. Right, Amit Dusangi. Yes, is it audible, Amit Dusangi?
কি করছে আমাদের ছোট রানী?
Yes, yes, Amit. Yeah. What is your doubt?
ঠিক আছে তো?
Like I think you have asked me whether it is a JavaScript or it is TypeScript, right? Is it? Yes, Amit, your voice is not that audible. So could you, right? Could you just please type it here?
আর কি করে যাক
Ah, right. Amit, I can see you here. 1 second. Right. So basically, this is purely JavaScript. It is JavaScript framework.
আবার অ্যাপ্লিকেশন লিখেছে
Right. It's a JavaScript framework only. Right. So here,
আর তাকে বললো কেন এসব লিখছো কেন মাথা খারাপ কেন করছো
okay. 1 second. I'll just mute. Okay, right. You can type your questions here. I'll be giving you reply also.
Hello.
Yes. Who is this?
Yeah. Hi. I just want to know, like, so these are the basics which will lead to learn the Angular versions, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So if you want to learn for Angular TypeScript, AngularJS is that much mandatory for going to Angular TypeScript also. Yeah, that's true. And next thing is that yes, yes, all of you, yeah, all of you just listen to me. AngularJS is based on JavaScript framework and Angular 7 is based on TypeScript.
Okay.
Right. I hope all of you got the clarity. Right. So once again, I'll show you here. So basically, so have a look at here, all of you. You can share. I hope all of you, the screen is visible for all of you.
So it's better, like,
So
if we get into the core part of these three things, so that we'll be having a clear understanding of Angular versions, correct?
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Exactly. If you learn AngularJS, then Angular 7 will be very simple and very easy for you. Otherwise,
Oh,
there you have to again start with TypeScript.
okay. So can we expect like from basics because we
Which
are very new to
question?
this platform.
Absolutely.
So can we expect
Absolutely.
basics from your side so that we can
Um,
have strong basics and go
yeah.
ahead with Angular versions?
Sure, sure. Yeah, you're going to expect very strong basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'm also going to share you the course content, what I'm going to discuss here. So,
Okay.
right. You can just be
ठीक है जय वो तो तुम्हें
just be
देखने को
online.
पूरा कॉल कर रहा है पूरा
I'll just share you the course content also.
Okay.
All of you. Just give me just
ठीक है ना
10 seconds. Yeah. Anyone who's audio who are not audible, you can just type a question there. I'll give you the reply.
ও এরকম ব্যাপার আচ্ছা
So one more thing, like
আরে আবার
apart
ঠিক
from
আছে
this
বলো না
online this classes, so do we have any interactive session face on face?
No, no. Here
বাবাকে বলো
we are not going to have any interactive session, but all the queries will be answered to you by chatting or through mail.
Okay.
Everything will be answered by you, for you, all of you.
Okay. Okay. Anything we should have, if we have queries, we need to mail you back. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And next thing is that at the end of the classes, we are going to mail all the videos for you.
काला काला
Okay.
बड्डे
Great. Great. Okay.
चलता नहीं
So
So,
demo will be only today, or we will be having it tomorrow also?
right. Tomorrow also, I'll be discussing uh, about Angular JS only. Right. So
Okay.
all of you, right. So all of you, just have a look at here. Is the screen visible for all of you? Right. Amit, I got your reply. Yes. Yes. Right. Rupesh. Right. Right. Absolutely. See, like, right. So I got a question. Do we need to learn AngularJS? Yes. AngularJS has become the basis for developing any web application today in the market because the flexibility is very high in developing a website, very quick, very fast, short number of coding lines, and all the leading websites like Flipkart, Amazon, ICICI Bank dot, all these are using AngularJS only to the maximum extent. Right, see here. So this is the syllabus what we are going to discuss here in the classroom. One, we are going to discuss introduction to client-side UI technologies. Two, we are going to discuss HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Next, introduction. So this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript I'm going to discuss for 2-3 sessions. Next, we'll be going to introduction and history of AngularJS and what is this framework, what is AngularJS, and what is MVC in AngularJS. If you learn this MVC, tomorrow you can shift to any other new framework which is using MVC, Model View Controller. So this is Model View Controller. So based on this, you can develop any web application. Next, introduction to AngularJS, features of AngularJS, advantages of AngularJS when compared to other JavaScript frameworks. Next, how to download the library, and we are going to use Notepad++ for writing our programs. And next, developing web pages using AngularJS and first example. And then we'll go to development basics, AngularJS execution process, views, arrays, objects. And next, we are going to discuss directives, controllers, processing objects in AngularJS. Next, filters, customized filters, events. And next, we are going to discuss styles in AngularJS and other directives in AngularJS like ngIf, show, ngHide, and all these things. Next, we'll see how to work with forms in AngularJS and how to perform form validations using AngularJS. And next, we'll also be seeing how to work with modules. Uh, Right. I'll give reply for everyone. Yes, you are also going to get the recorded videos also for all of you at the end of the course. And that you have to take it from the Durgasoft. They'll be mailing you all the recordings at the end of the course. And next, we'll see how to work with services in AngularJS after modules, predefined services, and user-defined services using service method and factory methods. And next, we'll see how to create our own directives. So when I start using these directives, I'm going to introduce you to 3 servers. One, Internet Information Server, next Tomcat server, and XAMPP server. Okay, and next we are going to do with Ajax programming. So Ajax programming, which helps us to make connectivity with the server and get the dynamic information. So in this Ajax programming, we are going to see how to work with .NET, Java, and PHP. All these 3 technologies: .NET, Java, and PHP. Right. And in the last, we'll see how to work with web application, single page web application development. So single page web application development. And then in the last, we'll also see how to work with Bootstrap CSS library integrated with AngularJS. Right. So these are the different course contents what we are going to cover.
Actually, in between, I've seen MVC. So, for keeping Angular versions as the main thing, so MVC is also helpful for that.
Yes, absolutely. MVC is a model view controller. It is a architecture for developing web applications. Not only web applications, we can develop enterprise applications also using MVC. Even that also we are going to cover in
Yeah.
this AngularJS. Right.
Okay.
So
So it
Amit,
would be helpful.
okay. Yeah, it would be helpful for you in the future also. And next, Amit is asking one question for us. What are we going to cover? Command line interface. Okay. Right. So CLI is used in Angular 7 version. So we are not going to use this. Okay. Right. So CLI we are going to use it in Angular 7 version. Right. So somebody is asking Shushil Agarwal, what is the fee course? Right. So the fee course, you have to make a call to the Durgasoft online section. They'll be giving you the fee details for this. Right. Any other queries? You can just put it. You can just make a ping here. Right. So
Sir, what is
videos
the
will be
duration of
recorded.
this course?
Yeah, duration will be, it will be around 35 to 40 sessions.
Okay, sir.
Daily it will be around 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes. Yeah, right. Rupesh asked me one question. Are you going to record the videos available for us? Yeah, absolutely. We are going to record each and every video for you. At the end of the course, Durgasoft online team will be giving you the soft copy of all the videos.
And
Right, and
do we
next,
have it at weekends too?
yeah, if it is there on weekends, we'll intimate you 1 day before or 2 day before. So most probably expect this from Monday to Saturday. On Sundays we can take a leave. Okay.
Okay. And do we need to come physically to the organization and get the softwares installed for this
No, no,
Angular
not
there?
at all. No, no, not at all. I'll be showing you everything online. It's very simple and easy. I have my dedicated step-by-step process. I'll show
Mhm.
you everything step by step. By seeing my videos, you can do it by yourself. I have designed the course content very easy so that even online also students can understand same like offline classroom only.
Okay, great. So tomorrow will be a demo session or it will be a class initiation
Yeah,
tomorrow?
both. It will be like demo session as well as the class session also. Like I'll be
Sir,
taking
if you want to make, sir, if
yeah.
you want to make a